Hey guys, I'm Tiffany and I'm going to be talking about the best movies and TV shows of 2021. So the first show is Chuck. When a 20-something computer geek inadvertently downloads critical government secrets into his brain, the CIA and NSA assign 2 agents to protect him and exploit such knowledge, turning his life upside down. This show was really great and fun. It had a lot of really cool action scenes and some great comedy. And overall, it was a really fun and great show. I did stop, I guess, halfway through the show. It just kind of got overboard and it stopped being interesting. And I already know about at least one thing about the finale, so it's like, it's not worth doing that. But if you want to give it a try, I definitely recommend it because it was really fun. The next movie is Moxie. Inspired by her mom's rebellious past and a confident new friend, a shy 16-year-old publishes an anonymous sign calling out sexism at their school. This was a really good movie. I do wish there was more to the story or it being a longer movie because it was just really good. I kind of wish they would make a sequel. I liked the characters and I'd like to see more of what they could do and the consequences that horrible guy faces for what he did. I thought it was interesting. Again, just like how in Frat Girl, even though she was a feminist, she was still called out for some of her wrong ideas. Same thing happens to this main character. She does some not so great things and she's called out for that. I watched the movie twice this year. Like, it was that good. And I just recommend anyone who would have any interest to give it a try because it really is a good movie. The next show is The Owl House. And bro, dude, it is such a good show. Like, it is so good. Now, for the longest time, my favorite animated series was Gravity Falls. And honestly, bring that number 1 to number 2 because The Owl House surpasses it. It is really, really good. It's just such a good show and it's so cute and I love the characters and they're all awesome. It's so great. Luce, a self-assured human girl, accidentally stumbles upon a portal to a magical new world where she befriends a rebellious witch Ida and an adorably tiny warrior king. Despite not having magical abilities, Luce pursues her dream of becoming a witch by serving as Ida's apprentice and ultimately finds a new family along the way. It's a really cute and awesome show. It's just great and I'm really glad I found it and it is so good. After I finished it, I had to go and just rewatch the first season. Like, that show is so good, man. So, if you're a human being, you should watch it. It's so good. The next show is Inside Job. Inside Job is a workplace comedy set in a world where many conspiracy theories are real. It is centered on an American shadow government organization, Cognito Inc., which attempts to control the world and keep the conspiracies secret. The series follows a team led by a tech genius and her new partner as they work in the organization alongside reptilian shapeshifters, a human-dolphin hybrid, and a sapient mushroom from Hollow Earth. This show was another really good show. I mean, this was like so good. And the intro, that song is so good too. I've never watched like an adult animated show. Technically I've watched The Simpsons, but I was never really one for it. But I'm more talking like American Dad or Family Guy or Rick and Morty. I've never watched those shows. I've never had interest. And so I was like, I'll give this a try because I like Gravity Falls and this was created by a writer of Gravity Falls. But I was like, let's check it out. I was kind of skeptical. I didn't think I would like it, but it was so good. It's a really good show. It was just like really cool and fun, and it was cool to see like the Easter eggs of things they were showing. Oh, yeah. It's a really good show. And if you are like me and don't think adult animation is your thing, give it a try because I was very pleasantly surprised about it. It was really fun. And also the main character, she's voiced by Janice from Mean Girls, so if that has any sort of interest to you, you know, maybe consider giving it a try. Alright, so my camera died, so let me finish this video up. The next movie is Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse. Teen Miles Morales becomes the Spider-Man of his universe, and must join with 5 spider-powered individuals from other dimensions to stop a threat for all realities. So I never watched Into the Spider-Verse. I just never had an interest for it, and the animation just seemed a little bit weird to me. But because Spider-Man No Way Home was coming out, I'm like, okay, let me see about this movie, give it a try, whatever. And wow, that movie is so good. Like that song, What's Up Danger, I added that to my Spotify playlist. Like that one is so good. But just in general, the overall story and how they incorporate all the Spider-Men, it is so good. And honestly, I think they did a way better job incorporating all the Spider-Men into this movie versus how they did it in No Way Home. It's not like I'm saying No Way Home is bad. I love No Way Home and I'll talk about it, after this one. But honestly, like just in general, like the execution and overall like the story and everything, I think they did a much better job with this one versus Spider-Man No Way Home. It's just a different sort of story, and I just think with what they did, it was like really, really good. Yeah, so it was just a really awesome movie, and I'm really glad I watched it. And the last movie is dun 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 dun, Spider-Man No Way Home! And wow, this anticipation for this movie was crazy, and I was so excited. And I'll tell you what, I really didn't care about Avengers Endgame. I was kind of like, whatever, most of these characters I don't care about. I really don't want to see it. I ended up watching it. I didn't like it. But this movie, I was so hyped. I did not want any spoilers, and I cared so much about it, and I just kept on being like, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, they have to be in the movie. Especially considering how they were doing the overall story, where it's like, oh, the villains are back. It's like, if you do not add the other Spider-Man, I will lose it. Unfortunately, of course they did, and it's like, oh, this is so cool. Anyway, the movie's so good. So if you live under a rock, let me tell you what Spider-Man No Way Home is about. With Spider-Man's identity now revealed, Peter asks Doctor Strange for help. When a spell goes wrong, dangerous foes from other worlds start to appear, forcing Peter to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man. This movie was just so good. It was so awesome to see it opening weekend, and just the audience reactions, and just in general, it was so good. And I still love it so much. I went to see it opening weekend, and then a week or two later, I'm like, I have to see it again. And that movie is just so good. And legit, this is my screensaver. The movie is so good. And I think it's interesting too, certain characters that I didn't care about that much, especially from other movies, like Peter Parker himself. Tobey Maguire's always going to be Peter Parker to me, Spider-Man. He's top tier, it's never going to change. And most of the time I've just been kind of ugh, Tom Holland, whatever. But this time he did a pretty good job, so I'm really glad about that. And Zendaya's character, I love Zendaya. She's great, but I think her character sucks. I've never really liked her character at all, and at least this time they finally did her some justice. It's about time for us to like you, girl. Yeah, just everything about the movie was so good, and I'm just so glad this movie exists, and it's just so awesome, and woo, so great. And I'm so looking forward to the new trilogy. I really hope it's good, and it's also really exciting that it's finally, we're finally getting him living in New York, doing the Spider-Man life, swinging across New York City. It's yes, let's do it. Anyway, gushing over, but in general, just, Spider-Man No Way Home, so good. So both Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, and No Way Home, both of them are so good, and I really enjoy them, and yeah, they're great. And those are my favorite movies and TV shows of 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye!